In this AppSynergy tutorial, we are going to briefly cover one of the more interesting features, federated data. Federated data simply means that data is spread across multiple master data sources. This is typically how it is in a larger enterprise, where you might have your sales data in Salesforce, your order or customer data in an ERP system, and an industry-specific application that manages some other feature of your business. With AppSynergy, rather than relying on the application layer to do the integration, we have the data integration done dynamically at the database level. This is what federated data really means. So how does this work? First, you need to set up a data source. So you can click on Tools, Federated Data Sources. We have a couple of them set up here. Here's one that's connecting to an Azure database in the Microsoft Cloud. So we have a username and a password, but most importantly, this JDBC connection URL that provides the various parameters to connect to it. We can click Test Connection to see if these parameters are going to work. We also have some other connections. Here's one that connects to JIRA. Now in the case of JIRA, you can't connect directly to the database. You have to connect through their API. We have over 150 pre-built connectors to connect to APIs and map them to SQL data tables. So in this case, it is a JDBC URL with a user, there's the API token, etc. If we look at something like NetSuite, there's another one. If we look at Salesforce, there's a Salesforce connection. You can also build completely custom drivers without a line of code, merely by configuring how they operate. Here is an example of using our universal connector to connect to any JSON API endpoint. So this is the connection information, and the configuration files are a series of XML mapping files that will not be covered in this video. Once we have our data source created, the next step is mapping which tables, or in the case of API endpoints that we want to use in our database. So when we go to create, instead of creating a normal database table, we can say federated table from data source. Next, we will be prompted to select one of the data sources that we have configured. In this case, let's connect to the JIRA demo account. And so this will show the various API endpoints within JIRA that we can connect to. So if we wanted to see a list of the epics, this would map the epics table. And there's already a table called this, so we're going to call it JIRA epics 2, create federated table. And you'll see that over here, all these tables in orange are federated tables. The data types are mapped. We can come in here and annotate it by saying that that is the primary key field, for example. This will allow us to do updates on that remote data via the API by simply issuing SQL statements, or in the case of AppSynergy, having AppSynergy create the SQL statements for you. You can also create virtual foreign keys. So if you look here to an issue, you'll see that we have the project ID is mapped to the projects table. So if you go in here to edit the table, you will see that the project ID is linked to JIRA projects. So these federated tables act mostly like local tables. You can select, insert, update, and delete against them. And all of the features you've seen in AppSynergy so far work against these tables. This makes it very easy to create a cross-system application that, for example, combines data from your ERP system and Salesforce without having to write any code. So if we were to run this application, we have a few tables here. So this is just a very simple JIRA table with a list of the epics and tasks, and you can see that it's editable here. We could come down, click on a particular one. This is a very, very simple UI, but we could change this here to XXX. And when we click Save, even though this is an SQL, it's getting posted back to the JIRA API. If we were to look at it in JIRA, we would see that that says now XXX, and the next time we pull it up here, we can see that it's XXX. So even though no direct database access, whether it's Salesforce, JIRA, or like I said, on our website, over 150 other smart connectors are pre-built and available, plus you can configure your own for other APIs. And here is some data pulled via a completely custom connector to a JSON-based API that we do not have a smart connector for, but was configured very quickly in just an afternoon using our universal JSON connector. We also have ones for XML APIs. That's it for this AppSynergy tutorial video. Please be sure to check out all the other tutorial videos available on our website.